Shalom, shalom. I pray everybody's well and staying safe. You, your beautiful families. I wanted to bring forth something for your consideration, set apart believers of this truth, as we come into this official start of the holiday season. At the time of this recording, it is Saturday, October 25th, 2025 on the Gregorian calendar. This thought came to me early this rising as I was in prayer. You know, many of us, we're awakened at odd hours. And typically when that happens, it may be a directive for us to go into prayer and palau. And so I began to do that, and I was given a thought, and it was a white teacup, and it was the cup of iniquity, because this cup was overflowing with blood. I received an understanding of this all, that it was with this cup of iniquity that has now been to overflowing, where the saints, they are crying out for vengeance. And so that cup of iniquity, the wickedness that continues to happen, where innocent blood has been shed, that cup is filled to overflowing. And the pouring out of Ahayah's indignation is going to take place because of that cup of iniquity being filled to overflowing. And so in that, it was reminiscent, or it reminded me of the bowl judgments. During that time, those bowls are going to be poured out. The wrath of Ahayah is going to be poured out. His indignation is going to be poured out. And it reminded me of these circumstances, which all of this is judgment. So in thinking about these things, so often we've been taking time to specifically fast in reference to the holidays of Thanksgiving and Xmas. Now, I don't recall anyway. Now, maybe others have been fasting during the time of Halloween, in that week or so. I don't recall it being said, collectively. I haven't been doing it, and I mean, obviously it's not just about me. but I haven't recalled that I've heard others doing that as well. But I pose to you all to, if, again, this is the unctioning. If you are receiving an unctioning during this time period, specifically in this week, if you're receiving an unction to fast, please do so. Please do so. Because this is the start of these holidays. This is the season. The start of it. It's not necessarily Thanksgiving. It's now. And it's hitting different this year. So we need to, just as the wicked are going to be, this is their high time, we need to be combating that, because light overtakes darkness. So we need to be in fasting and in halal prayer. So if you are getting that unctioning, and that strong unctioning of the Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, to fast, please do so. We have to be unified spiritually as well as physically. Yasharal. Grafted in branches. We must do this. You all, this is a spiritual call to arms. Gird up. Get in your secret place during these times. Fast. Pray. So we can combat the forces, the wicked forces of our adversary, who goes around like a lion, a roaring lion, seeking whom he may devour. Yeah, that roaring lion, because his bark, his bark ain't nothing, his bite ain't nothing neither, that we have to worry about as set-apart believers of the truth. He can't touch us. We are more powerful than him, any of his principalities, any of his darkness, his wickedness. We are victorious. So he's just going to bark and be annoying. We got it. But this is our spiritual call to arms, to gird up. We are in a spiritual battle, and we can't ever rest in this battle. Not one iota. And I don't even like saying that word. So, Father, forgive me for that. But we can't rest one bit. Gird up. I've received understanding further that, now, maybe some will agree, some may not agree. That's fine. It's all good either way, of course. But my thinking previously has been that Xmas is like the ultimate of the wickedness of this holiday season. But I propose to you all further thought for consideration that it's this particular holiday, this upcoming holiday, is more so. And as I've thought about this, as I meditated on these things, this rising, I wanted to find out, do they celebrate Halloween globally? As I know, many countries do have a form of celebration for Xmas, though they may call it different things. I wanted to see if that was similar to the celebration of Halloween. And so I did a search, and these are the results of what I found about that. There are countries that do have a form of celebration. It may not be necessarily on the 31st of October, but they do have a celebration. And so I thought that was very significant. Again, going back to the fact that there are celebrations, even those that say they are in Christianity, they do these practices. They celebrate Halloween. They celebrate this time. Now, in comparison to, before I get into that, the other reason why I am saying, and I pose this all to you for thought about this time, is because, of course, we know the adversary continues to mimic and pervert. He mimics the things of the Most High, and he also perverts them. So this time frame, the feast day season, around, some say this particular time frame is the actual birth of Mashiach, Messiah. And so it dawns on me that I'm like, wait a minute, if this is around the time of his birth, and some are putting those dates out there, the 24th, 25th of October, being another time of watching, if you will, watching for the Exodus, things of that nature. It's another time that is being watched. I'll just say it like that. So I'm like, wow. And this is literally right near their time of the 31st, or Halloween. So the mimicking, the perverting, happening again. That's their celebration. You see, when I pray y'all are receiving, where I'm going with this. But these are the things that are occurring. Just like the Christians, their time, they look at December 25th as JC, their Messiah time of birth. And this is considered a holy time for them. But that is, now that we have come into the knowledge of the truth as set apart believers, that we see that these things have been changed up to deflect from the truth, the true time frames. And so I'm posing that to you all as well for consideration. And so when I looked into, again, just because I've heard and I've seen things about Xmas before. Specifically, I wanted to find out a little more details as to the celebration of it as well. Because I know there are countries that do not, there's religions that do not celebrate Xmas. Yes, I say Xmas, Christmas, yeah. But they don't celebrate it. Why don't they celebrate it? Because for many, it's against their religious beliefs. So they don't even recognize it. But some of those very same countries could very well recognize Halloween. Okay? So as I'm looking into this, and these are the things that I found in regard to that yes, of course we know Xmas is celebrated globally. There are countries that recognize it on the 25th, but again, there's some that do not. There's also other countries listed that do not celebrate it, of course, for religious beliefs. I would say primarily, but I mean, we see the instances, highlighted here. But, this is not the be all end all either. There may be other details that maybe if somebody was doing a deeper dive into it, they'd be able to find these details. But initially, this is what I found on a simple DuckDuckGo search. This is what came up. And it was significant to me. Because again, these practices are still being done globally in many countries, in many areas. They are doing these things. I wanted to talk about these things again to remind us to be watchful, to be prayerful, because we can combat the darkness with the light. We are the light of this world. And darkness cannot exist when there is light. It's not possible. So I wanted to bring this forth for you all to consider. And I pray that it has been a baraka to you all, a blessing. And please, if you are going to go a little deeper, please do so. Please share your thoughts on this. Till the next time, Ahaya willing. Shalom.